You may not need to rely solely on expensive injections to feel full. The body already has built-in pathways that help regulate appetite. When supported with the right nutritional inputs, it may help regulate natural GLP-1 signaling, a key hormone involved in satiety. This process may help improve satiety and support better control over eating behavior. Understanding how to support these internal mechanisms offers a more sustainable approach to managing appetite and metabolic health. Optimizing metabolic health begins with restoring underlying biological balance. Although medications that mimic GLP-1 are increasingly used, their prolonged activity in the bloodstream has been associated with side effects in some individuals, particularly when used without careful medical supervision. Another complementary approach focuses on supporting the body's natural hormonal rhythm. In a healthy system, the intestine releases GLP-1 shortly after a meal, helping signal fullness and regulate insulin responses. This hormone is rapidly broken down, allowing its effects to remain brief and precisely controlled. Under normal physiological conditions, continuous stimulation may differ from typical physiological patterns. Targeted nutritional strategies can help reinforce this natural signaling process. Diets rich in specific fibers and healthy fats have been associated with improved satiety and more balanced energy intake patterns. With consistent dietary patterns, supporting these internal pathways may help stabilize hunger signals and support more consistent long-term metabolic health. Transitioning from short-term adjustments to long-term metabolic health requires a focus on biological sustainability. Rather than relying solely on external interventions, the goal is to support the body's endogenous GLP-1 response in a consistent and balanced way. While pharmaceutical options can enhance satiety, their prolonged effects may contribute to side effects such as nausea or reduced appetite for essential nutrients in some individuals, particularly when dietary intake is not carefully managed. In comparison, supporting natural hormone signaling allows appetite regulation to remain more responsive to physiological needs. This approach may help create a more stable internal environment without continuous external stimulation. Across repeated exposure, improving endogenous signaling may also support more individualized and flexible health strategies, including potential adjustments in clinical care when appropriate. Focusing on these internal pathways is not simply about reducing hunger, but about supporting the body's ability to regulate energy intake effectively and maintain metabolic balance over time. Building on this foundation of nutritional self-sufficiency, a well-structured breakfast can help support metabolic stability throughout the day. Clinical studies suggest that incorporating eggs, particularly egg whites, provides a high-quality protein source that may be associated with changes in satiety-related hormone responses, including GLP-1. In randomized trials, individuals consuming an egg-based breakfast have shown lower postprandial glucose responses compared to those consuming carbohydrate-heavy meals such as refined grain products. This effect extends beyond immediate fullness. Higher protein intake in the morning has been associated with modulated perceptions of hunger and lower overall energy intake across the day. By starting with a protein-rich meal, it may be possible to reduce rapid fluctuations in blood glucose that can contribute to hedonic eating later in the day. With consistent application, this pattern may help reinforce more consistent eating behaviors. Supporting metabolic responses from the first meal of the day offers a practical and sustainable strategy to maintain satiety and steady energy levels without relying exclusively on external interventions. To further support hormonal stability throughout the day, it is important to consider the types of fats included in the diet. Replacing higher amounts of saturated fats, such as animal-based butter, with sources of monounsaturated fats may help improve satiety signaling. Some clinical and metabolic studies have examined the potential effects of monounsaturated fats on hormones such as GLP-1 and GIP, both of which are involved in appetite regulation. For example, Incorporating foods like avocados into balanced meals has been associated with increased satiety and a more favorable post-meal hormonal response, including changes in GLP-1 and PYY levels. These effects may contribute to a more sustained feeling of fullness without excessive energy intake. Prioritizing sources such as extra virgin olive oil, nuts, and avocados may help support metabolic balance. This dietary pattern can contribute to more stable energy levels and may reduce the tendency to seek highly processed foods between meals. At the same time, the type of dietary fat plays an important role in shaping the body's hormonal responses to food. Not all fibers function in the same way, and certain soluble fibers, such as beta-glucans, have been studied for their potential effects on satiety-related hormones. These compounds are naturally found in foods like oats, barley, rye, as well as some mushrooms and seaweed. Unlike insoluble fibers that primarily add bulk, beta-glucans form a viscous gel in the digestive tract, which can slow gastric emptying and nutrient absorption. As these fibers reach the colon, they are fermented by gut microbiota into short-chain fatty acids, which have been associated with pathways related to satiety signaling, including those involving GLP-1. This process may contribute to more sustained satiety signals following a meal. Incorporating these fiber sources into a balanced diet can help support more stable appetite regulation and overall metabolic function throughout the day. Beyond this, supporting communication between the gut and brain is an important component of metabolic health. Fermented foods such as kimchi, sauerkraut, yogurt, miso, and tempeh provide live microorganisms that may help support a diverse gut microbiome. Emerging research suggests that these foods can influence the gut-brain axis, including pathways linked to the enteroendocrine system and metabolic signaling. A well-balanced microbiome has been associated with more regulated signaling of hormones such as GLP-1 and PYY, which play roles in appetite and satiety. Rather than acting as an immediate switch, these signals contribute to a broader regulatory network that helps the body interpret energy intake and nutritional status more effectively. Regular inclusion of fermented foods may help support this system over time. By maintaining a stable gut environment, it may be possible to enhance sensitivity to internal satiety cues and reduce patterns of overeating, supporting more consistent long-term metabolic health outcomes. The communication between the gut and brain can be further supported through dietary patterns, sometimes described as a two-phase response. By increasing intake of fermentable, soluble fibers, it is possible to influence GLP-1 signaling at multiple points during digestion. The initial response occurs as nutrients enter the small intestine shortly after a meal, contributing to early satiety signals and helping regulate post-meal appetite more effectively. A secondary response may occur later in the digestive process. Because certain fibers are not fully digested in the upper gastrointestinal tract, they reach the colon where they are fermented by gut microbiota. This fermentation produces short-chain fatty acids, which have been associated with pathways involved in GLP-1 and PYY release. This delayed signaling, sometimes referred to as the second meal effect, reflects how earlier dietary inputs can shape hormonal responses beyond the initial post-meal period. From a practical perspective, the second meal effect highlights how earlier food choices can influence appetite at later meals. Nutritional strategies that emphasize fermentable fibers may help extend satiety beyond the immediate post-meal window, shaping how the body responds to subsequent food intake. As these fibers undergo fermentation in the colon, the resulting metabolic signals may remain active during periods when hunger typically increases. This can contribute to a more gradual return of appetite rather than a sharp rebound, supporting more controlled portion sizes at the next meal. Importantly, this effect does not eliminate hunger, but may help improve the timing and intensity of satiety cues. With consistent dietary patterns, individuals may experience more predictable eating rhythms and reduced variability in energy intake. Applying this concept in daily meal planning offers a practical way to support metabolic balance without relying solely on external interventions or restrictive strategies. Beyond managing daily food intake, supporting the cellular health of the digestive system is an important aspect of long-term metabolic function. Certain compounds, including berberine, have been studied for their potential effects on intestinal and metabolic pathways. Emerging evidence suggests that berberine may influence cellular signaling within the gut, including processes linked to short-chain fatty acid production, which are associated with GLP-1 release. Research has also explored its role in mitochondrial function within intestinal cells. Mitochondrial stress has been observed in individuals with insulin resistance and metabolic disorders, potentially affecting normal cellular activity, energy production, and responsiveness to nutrient signals. Some studies have explored its potential associations with cellular signaling within the gut. Changes in mitochondrial function have also been studied in relation to metabolic conditions, although their direct clinical implications remain under investigation. From a physiological perspective, the focus is on strengthening underlying biological systems. Maintaining cellular health within the gut environment may contribute to more consistent hormonal responses, improved metabolic flexibility, and more stable energy regulation across different physiological conditions. Alongside cellular support, certain compounds such as berberine have been studied for their potential influence on pathways related to short-chain fatty acid production within the digestive tract. These fatty acids are generated through microbial fermentation and have been associated with signaling processes involved in GLP-1 and other appetite-related hormones, contributing to more coordinated metabolic responses after meals. Instead of functioning as a single direct signal, this pathway contributes to a broader regulatory network that helps coordinate satiety and metabolic responses across different stages of digestion, supporting these processes through a combination of dietary fibers, healthy fats, and, when appropriate, targeted supplementation may be considered as part of a broader strategy to support metabolic regulation. An integrated strategy focuses on aligning with existing physiological mechanisms. With consistent application, this approach may contribute to more stable appetite patterns and more consistent metabolic regulation over time, while maintaining a safe and sustainable long-term framework for dietary management. Thank you for watching. This content is for educational purposes only. If this changed how you think about nutrition, don't forget to like and subscribe for more science-based insights.